In this video, we're going to take a look at virtual private networks, or VPNs. And VPNs create encrypted and secure connections between your devices. And this is crucial for protecting sensitive data, ensuring secure remote access, as well as maintaining privacy in your applications. So this video will give a broad overview of what VPNs are and sort of how they work at a high level. Then I'll do a detailed walkthrough of how to set up an OpenVPN server, and then I'll be connecting two devices, my PC here as well as a Groov device, my Groov Epic. So to give you some context as to what we're doing here, let's say we have two distinct nodes, two separate nodes that have no way of communicating with each other as is. Now, this could be because of some physical barrier like a mountain range or an ocean that's separating them. The point is that they're on two totally separate networks and there's no way for the two to communicate as is. So let's say one of them is a computer and the other one is some device. Let's just keep it abstract, say it's a machine. Now, to connect to the two, instead of just doing a one-to-one connection between them, instead we're going to introduce a VPN server, making the two nodes VPN clients. Now, exactly how the VPN clients connect to the server doesn't really matter. It could be standard Ethernet connection, it could be Wi-Fi, it could be cellular, or it could be a satellite system like Starlink. The point is that the VPN clients have a gateway up to the VPN server. So when it comes to security, you need to be aware that the VPN clients are connecting outbound to the VPN server. So there's no need to change firewall rules or have open ports on the client themselves. They connect outbound to the server, which is also where security is maintained. So any kind of IP address allocation, credentials, certificates, all of that kind of authentication and things like that are managed in the VPN server at one central admin portal, which is really convenient. Once these two devices are connected, we can decide which one is which. So for the machine on the left, we call that a host device. And the reason is because that needs a reserved IP address and it needs to be always connected. So that way when the user reaches through the VPN, it's able to consistently reach the host on that same IP address. On the other hand, the other VPN client is going to be a user client. This one's going to connect and disconnect as needed. So it gets a dynamic IP address that is allocated by the VPN server when it gets connected. This connection can also time out, which is good for security. You don't have hanging connections that are able to reach your hosts. And it's fine that it times out because it doesn't need to be constantly online, unlike a host device. Once both clients are connected to the VPN server, they're able to communicate with each other using a private tunnel over the internet that's all being supported by the VPN server. Now, you're not just limited to one device on either side. You can have multiple devices connected of many different kinds, and they're all able to do this securely as supported by the VPN server. And this will work through, your firewalls and things like that securely because it's all managed by the VPN server. So now that we've seen this at a high level, let's actually go through and configure this. So I'll start by configuring the OpenVPN server. I will get the credential file that I need for my host device for my Groov Epic. Then I'll authenticate on my user device, this PC, and we'll get everything set up. And I will then connect to my Epic using the new IP address via the VPN server. So let's drop over and go to openvpn.net. I'll go ahead and click Get Started for free, and that'll open this page here where I have one of two options. If I want to host it myself, I can use an access server, so that would be great on installing it on a private network or running it on-premise. But for just for today, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use Cloud Connexa. You can see that it supports 3 free connections, and it's a great way to just quickly get started. So I will create a free account here. I'm going to sign up with my Google account. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. We'll go ahead and continue. Now I just need to provide a few details, so I'll just fill that in. Now that I've provided those details, I will need to give a name to my WPC, or Wide Area Private Cloud. This is just sort of how your VPN server is identified. So I'm just going to call it Opto video.openvpn.com. So I'll go ahead and confirm that. That's going to bring me straight to the status page. You can see that I've got 0 of 3 connections being used. Of course, that makes sense. I haven't set anything up yet. So we're going to go ahead and set up our host as well as our user device. So let's come over here and start with hosts. I'll select hosts. You can see there's no hosts found. Of course, I'll go ahead and select add host. Let's give it a name. I'm going to name it after the host name of my device, Epic Dev, and it is a groov Epic. And you can see that I'm going to go ahead and create a connector for it. This is what's going to allow it to have that constant online connection with the consistent IP address. So I'm just going to go ahead and click finish. You can see that I have this Epic Dev host. It's currently offline. And if I come over to my connectors, you can see that it's going to get the address 100.96.1.18. It's already reserved right there. So now I'll need to deploy it, so I'll select deploy, and we're going to open the profile and download it in .ovpn format. So I'll go ahead and select that. We've now downloaded that to my system, so I'll come back over to my groov Epic. Of course, this is secure over HTTPS, so I will need to log in with my username and password. Once I've logged in, and we'll come down to the network settings and come into status, and you'll see that currently my OpenVPN tunnel is disabled and disconnected. So we'll go ahead and configure that. When I scroll down to the bottom here, you'll see OpenVPN tunnel 0, currently disabled. I'll switch that to automatic DHCP. And because I downloaded the OpenVPN profile as a file, I can go ahead and upload that client file here. So I'll just come to my downloads, select that connection and click open. We'll see that the client configuration file is successfully uploaded, so I'll close this and click save. This is going to restart my network, so it's going to spin up that OpenVPN connection and reach out and connect to my server. So once we have confirmation that that's working here on my host, on my groov Epic, we'll be able to go back to the Cloud Connexa status page, and we'll see that it is in fact connected. So you can see I've already gotten my IP address. It is that 96.1.18, so I did get the IP address that I was expecting. And in just a second here, we'll see the link status change from, there we go, from disconnected to connected, and we're good to go. So now let's go back to Cloud Connexa. If I refresh this page, we'll see that that connector is now gone to online, and my host, my Epic Dev, is now online. So we're good to go. Now I'll drop down users, and we're going to add a new user device, which is going to be this PC. So I'll select devices, click add device, and I'm just going to call this Windows Studio. And I do need to associate it with a user, so we'll just use the account I created this server with, this optoalerts@gmail.com. We'll click add device, and I've got this device added. We'll see that I've got some IP address here, but that could change. I'll just download this profile. I'll choose my area, which is Los Angeles, California, and download this file. And that's going to allow me to open up this OpenVPN file. Now to open that, I will need to come over to the openvpn.net, select apps, and I'll download the app for whatever system I may be using. So Windows, macOS, Linux, Android, iOS, or Chrome OS. So I've already got mine downloaded. You can see I use this regularly. I've got some other configurations here. You'll just need to download this and you'll be able to add your file. So let's bring that open. I'll bring open my files. I'll come over to my downloads and I will double click that .ovpn profile. My system recognizes it and opens it with this app that I've downloaded. I'll go ahead and click OK. I'm just going to name the profile optovideo.openvpn.com, and I'll go ahead and click connect. We'll see it popped up and said you're connected. If I go back to the app, you can see that yes, I am in fact connected. I'm able to disconnect at any time, but now I should be able to reach this device instead of over the host name on the local network. I will now be able to use this new IP address over the OpenVPN tunnel. So if I open a new tab and go to https:// that IP address, of course my certificate for this device is just set up for the host name and IP address. I do not yet have this new VPN IP address as part of the subject alternate name for my certificate, so my certificate is not valid in this case. I can change that configuration later. For now, let's just proceed through this, and you can see I'm able to access my device. So we'll just put in my username and password once again. This is still a secure connection. I go ahead and log in, and I'm able to reach my device. Now, of course, I could do the same thing with my cell phone, with my laptop, with any other device, with any other user device that I need to reach this host. I'm able to connect to it, and when I'm done, I can go ahead and disconnect this profile, and we will see that I am no longer able to reach this device. So if I come in, you can see the server is offline because me as the user client are no longer connected to the server. Therefore, I no longer have that secure tunnel to the device, and my device, the host device, all of its data is totally safe. So now we're all set up, we're good to go, and we can extend this as needed. We'll have some links and resources in the description below, and as always, I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching.